Hi everyone, my name is Adi, and I'm back with another tech video, so to speak, for the Monk Customs Oracle. We've had a lot of talks about the upper of the Monk Customs Oracle, and when the platform originally launched, Monk Customs said that upgrades would come through time for various parts of the build. There have been talks about different outer barrels, of course, different handguards, new cuts. You've probably already seen the Monk Customs X Polar Star oracles. And today, actually, we're going to be talking a bit more about the lower half of the build, more specifically about the install of the new ESGMR. And I've took a housing actually for the ESGMR because I had this beautiful Polar Star micro rig at home. I've had this actually for more than 5 years, which is sort of, a testament to its power and its consistency. And also something that has been in the airsoft world for a minute now. It's the on and off switches, which are a fantastic solution for you not to be compelled to take out your battery every time that you play. So very excited to show you a little bit about how to install these upgrades and what they actually mean for your build. All right, before we begin, full disclosure, I'm not some proficient IT tech guy, whatever. I've built a ton of these builds, but that doesn't necessarily make you a pro or anything like that. And a second part is these are upgrade kits, right? You can buy these individually and install it in your already existing Monk Customs Oracle. I'll be installing it into my Black Vader build Oracle. So really excited to show you guys how it's done. And the second part is, for example, this is a really unique and new concept. I've never ever installed my Polar Star MR into this housing. So whatever you see here will be a first time for me as well. So if I can do it, you guys can do it as well, right? All right, second part is I want to show you guys how these on and off switches work, right? So normally what you have is a trigger board. That trigger board has one of these wire harnesses in it, right? And that goes into your FCU. Let's maybe plug that in. I think I can demonstrate immediately. Normally that goes into your FCU in your grip, right? And then you connect that with a battery, and then your gun works. But we'll be putting the on and off switch in between that cycle, so to speak. So you have the on and off switch, which interrupts the connection between the FCU and your battery, right? So instead of this going into your battery, it goes through the on and off switch, and then it goes to the battery, right? The battery. And normally, if we've done this correctly, right now, it doesn't work, right? And it's connected with the battery. So if I press this button, ta-da! Your build works. How nuts is that? When you press again, it doesn't work. One shoot. So that is sort of how the on and off switch works, right? Simple concept, all in all, but you just gotta, install it correctly, have the correct landscape to install that into your Oracle. And that is pretty much it. All right, let's focus on the on and off switch to begin with, right? So I've already put aside my new ESGMR housing and the original grip and also the Polar Star micro rig. So I already took I fixed it set, and I also got some of the hex tools that you got with your original Monk Customs Oracle. And we're going to be taking off this sleek backplate that came stock with your gun, right? Take that off, nice and easy. Keep that screw though, you will need it. putting this on the side. Now, the other backplate for the on and off switch has the same dimensions, of course, with the cutaway that you have to put the switch in yourself. Now, the switch, it consists out of 3 elements. You got the on and off switch itself, you have got the connector, and you have this sort of screw that goes on the inside of the on and off switch and tightens it to this backplate. So, a couple of things. My switch came with this marking, and I've already aligned that with the writing on the on and off switch. So the connector and the on and off switch have a specific alignment. Now, when you disconnect them like this, you sort of have to know that this writing that you can see on the switch has to align with this black marking, right? So when you reconnect it, and I'll explain why that you have to disconnect it in a second, so you know how to do that exactly. So, first and foremost, we'll be installing our button right over here. And the little cool feature is that it has this O-ring on the inside that sort of aligns it and keeps it tight and snug any way that you want it to. If you're a little bit OCD like I am, you know, you want to have it like aligned. That's why it's so important. And then you can put the small screw right over here. This is a little bit of a finicky part, but it is what it is. You don't have to like, I just use this hex bit thing and just put it on there. Like I said, a little bit finicky, but that's okay. The aesthetic is worth it. Like I said, if you got a little bit of that OCD in you, like I do, you want to align your button nicely. Right, that should do the trick. Just a bit more. All right, nice and snug. And now what I do is I find that writing that I found before, which is right here for me, and then I place the connector in the right way. And before you do anything else, I suggest that you just test it out, see if it works. You can do that by placing a battery to the connection right over here and test out your button. Yeah, works neatly. It's a really satisfying click, by the way. And after that, we can simply reconnect this part into your lower receiver. Just put the cables through, and we'll be battling with those cables in a minute. Just tighten down our button so it stands firmly in place. And you're going to use the same screw that you used with the original one. Don't do it too fast. You know what they say? Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. And that is it. That is our button. I kind of like this aesthetic. Black with the silver. Build idea. Alright guys, so the next part is actually the install of the Oracle upper onto the lower. But one quick thing, well actually two quick things. If you don't know how to do this, please check out the video that we've created for Monk Customs on the general install of the Oracle. And the second thing is, as you can see on the lower right here, the connector of the on and off switch is relatively close to these body pin grooves. So you gotta be careful with how you route your cables. What you have to do is actually put them over here. And only when you've done this, you should actually route them all the way down into your grip hole, which is pretty much where everything else goes. That is it. Alright guys, so for demonstration purposes, before we continue actually with the ESGMR, I wanted to show you how a full cycle, or how a full cycle looks like in terms of wiring, and how the on and off switch actually works, right? Obviously, I've not assembled everything. Once again, it's just for demonstration purposes. So these are the wires you should have coming from your body into your grip. This is the wire to the trigger unit, and of course the two wires from the on and off switch. Obviously you have to connect the FCU, and that goes through the regular way, so we connected with the trigger unit. Just a moment. All right, there's a Gorilla FCU. All right, and normally you will connect the battery to the FCU directly, right? You can still do that, by the way, but you know, that's not the point of this. What you will do is connect your FCU with the on and off switch. So the on and off switch sort of becomes this this agent in between that controls the power. So when you connect actually a battery with it, it's powered, and now it controls your power as well. So right now it should not be, yeah, but right now it's engaged. But right now it should not be able to shoot. You don't hear anything, right? When we press it, maybe you can hear it, it's shooting, right? And now, once again, for demonstration purposes, I'm gonna connect this with a line. And now, instead of like obviously any sort of tang grip, I'm gonna connect it with an IGL line. All right, now it's pressured. Once again, switch is off, not shooting, nothing. When I engage it though, whew, that's loud. You can see the nozzle move, hopefully. Firecracker. So yeah, once again, it's turning off. Nothing. Cool, right? Now that we are done with everything involving electricity in our build, we can actually start off with this ESGMR housing. So I picked the housing for my ESG because I already own a Polarstar micro regulator, and I'll be using that housing to install it in, because that is one of the options that you can take. First and foremost, I want to show you what you exactly get in the packaging of the ESGMR. So I have this beautiful looking housing, which will, you know, aesthetically be very pleasing with that on and off switch that we just installed. We get a couple of tools. This is actually the part that goes on the top here so that the line can be installed. Of course, we have the tool for the line, and also some small screws that will hold our Polarstar micro reg in place within the housing. And that is pretty much it. That's all that we need. Next part will be disassembly of the ESG grip. So we'll be taking off the ESGR. You have served us valiantly, and we'll be installing the Polarstar micro reg within this housing. All right, I would say let's get to it. And this will be interesting actually, because I've never actually installed this, so it'll be a first for me as well. I'll be starting off here with these screws on the side, but as soon as I saw that they were actually collaborating on on the ESGMR, obviously I had to buy this ASAP. And to be completely honest, I'm a big old Polarstar fanboy as well. So the moment that I heard that they were collaborating with Monk Customs, you know, it was an easy choice to make. So yeah, like I said, just disassembling this ESGMR. It has served us valiantly. Have this screw on the inside here that we need. There we are. And then you might notice like, it's still not coming off, which is normal. We have two pieces that we still need to take apart. It's going to be this dial. It's actually going to be this line connector on the inside. Hopefully you can see it. And to start off, we're going to take this off, and I usually take a cloth and a set of pliers so we can actually take it off. You have to turn it counterclockwise. So I took a cloth. I'm going to use it for this dial because I don't want to scratch and damage it. Take a set of pliers, put it on firmly, start turning. And it might be quite tough in the beginning because they're rock solid on top. But, oh, damn. Like I said, they're quite tough on it. Oh yeah. I feel like a plumber. Know what I mean? Yeah, taking them off. Oh, that's one piece done. And then, hopefully you can see it on the inside. It's actually a, you can see it this way. If you put in a hex bit in it, you can actually take it out. So instead of like going from the top, the inside, you can actually do it from down here. That's a little bit topsy-turvy because it's upside down, so you gotta actually go clockwise to loosen it up. Ooh, it's quite tight. And you know, if you need pliers, use them as well, because usually from the factory it comes really tightly on top. But yeah, there we go. Yeah, that was rock solid in there. Yeah, there goes our connector. Keep those because they can always come in handy. And then if we've done it correctly, we can actually just slide this off. This is our ESGR. Thank you for your service. Alright, now we have done that. This is actually an excellent opportunity to showcase some of the differences between the ESGR and the ESGMR. Except for the fact, of course, that in the ESGMR, you will be rocking a tried and tested Polarstar micro reg built into the housing. There's a couple of small differences as well. Like for example, the dial will actually be up front instead of on the bottom. Some people like this, some people do not. I like it because it gives a more sleek look to it. And a different difference is that, for example, that the line connector will be actually integrated way within the ESGMR. So you will not have this screw that you have to deal with every time that you want to take this off. Right? Details, especially in the airsoft world that you have a lot of products, the details win me over personally. I like it. All right. Full disclosure, I have never actually installed a Polarstar micro reg into a ESGMR housing, so bear with me if I make any mistakes. I really apologize. What I have done before though is disassemble one of these, mainly for maintenance purposes. So you have a couple of things that you need for the ESGMR, and that is the dial, of course. We need this bottom half actually of the regulator. This we won't be needing because we will be using the line connector we got in the packaging, and that is pretty much it. So you have two screws, one is over here, one is on the other side, and then the big old screw that actually regulates you need to take out. So we'll be starting off with that part, and then we'll do the dial maybe as last. I'm not sure. Let's just see how it goes, right? Keep these on the side just in case. So we also have big boy over here. Then this should be able to get off just like that. Yeah. Ooh, it was still a little bit pressurized. Be careful with that though. And there you have it. Our Polarstar micro reg from the inside. Right. So these. We'll do the same thing with the dial that we did actually with the ESGR. Put on a cloth and then just use our pliers, right? Ooh, that's rock solid on there. This will be a tough cooking. I also wonder whether we could use actually the dial that we have from the ESGR, but we won't be doing that just yet, right? All right, I loosened the dial up a little bit off camera because there was no polite way of me doing that on camera. So yeah, here's the dial. We're gonna be using that, and yeah, pretty much this is the housing of the original Polarstar micro reg, which we won't be using anytime soon. Yeah. All right, so I just took a minute to sort of investigate on how to continue with this build part, and this is like super duper intuitive. Like I just took a look on the inside, and look at this. It is the same exact inside, which sort of makes sense, I know, but at the same time, you maybe thought that you would have had to make some sort of modification or whatever, but it's pretty much the same thing. So what I'll be doing is I'll be cleaning up a little bit of the O-rings that I had with my original Polarstar micro reg. And the only thing then that we have to do is first put this center part inside with the spring, and then the bottom of the Polarstar micro reg, and that is it. And of course, obviously, we have to put the dial on the front. We're pretty much done, ladies and gents. Could it be that easy? Well, let's check it out in a minute. All right, guys, let's attempt to assemble this beautiful beast. If you do clean up your O-rings, do not forget to lubricate them once again before you actually reassemble it. Nothing worse than dry O-rings, believe me. Then what we should do is just pretty much roll this on top, I guess. Yeah, that seems to be it. And then the dial go over here. I'm not sure whether the dial needs any Teflon tape. It was without Teflon tape on the original Polarstar Micro, so I'm gonna attempt you put it on without any Teflon, you know, you can always apply some Teflon afterwards. I'm doing a lot of experimental crap here for you guys. You're welcome. So in the packaging that we had, still have 2 of these small screws that are created actually, I believe, to keep our regulator in place. So I'm gonna put those in as well. Is this the right bit? I need a thinner one. A bit thicker than this one. Yeah, that's one. Put these over here. There's one on the bottom and one on the top. There's the one on top. And that is really sleek looking, not gonna lie. Sheesh. Right, do not forget about that screw that goes on the inside as well. That's actually for the adjustment of your PSI. That was originally like on the side as well. And this should be our ESGMR. Of course, we still need to put in our line connector. A specific bad boy for this. Be careful. Don't want to mess with these lines. Is this the right one? Or is this the right one? I think this is the right one, yeah. Put it in nice and snug. Cannot even like turn it anymore, so I think this is it. Now look at this. Cannot like even see it over here. That's really nuts. And now the final part, of course, is put it on here. Yeah, on the original grip. This is actually quite nice. Awesome. Right. Suppose we still need a screw, of course. Ooh, almost lost it. I'm just messing with it. All right. Let's tighten that down just for good measure. And that is it. Or ESGMR should be done. I'm not gonna lie, this actually looks really good, especially with the aesthetics that I'm going for. Amazing. Of course, there's the back plate, you know. Beautiful. All right, guys, so we have done the electrical part of the build, which is the on and off switch. We love this thing. And we have installed our Polar Star micro reg into the ESGMR housing. So the last thing that remains is put it all together, also of course with the handguard and everything else. Yeah, just check out how it looks. Like we can take a peek already because I'm sort of curious myself. On anything just yet. I just want to see how it looks like. Come on, guy. Come on, guys. This really looks phenomenal. Jeez Louise.